Okay, seriously, what is it with these 3D movies that are based on some sort of like mythical figure or literary character, and why is it always so bad? There was Hercules, there was Tarzan, and now there's Frankenstein. That's three strikes. You're out, January. So I Frankenstein is written and directed by Stuart Beattie, I think I'm saying that right, and it stars Aaron Eckhart, Bill Nighy, Yvonne Strahovski, and Miranda Otto. I Frankenstein takes place in the future wherein Frankenstein's monster has survived and he finds himself in the middle of like this war between these gargoyles who are supposedly represent the good of the world and these demons who obviously are the evil. That's that's all the plot I can think of. I'll be completely honest with you guys. I forgot about this movie as soon as I left the theater. I mean, I am so serious about that. And as soon as I got on my seat, put on my earphones, and I was like, oh, music. And then when I got home, I was like, fished into my pocket. It's like, oh, look, it's a ticket to I Frankenstein. Oh, I saw that. It's really, this movie is just, it's so dull. Like, oh my god. It's not as bad as The Legend of Hercules. It's definitely not as bad as Tarzan, I think. But this movie is just, it's just so boring. I mean, like, Legend of Hercules was at least kind of watchable in the sense that you couldn't believe it was this bad. Oh, Tarzan was the same way, and I hated both those movies. But really, I Frankenstein is just so. Oh my god, it was a chore to sit through. And I really don't know where to start. I'm just gonna say right now that there's nothing redeemable in this movie. Okay, this movie looks just as cheap as Hercules did. Production design and makeup and costumes and stuff. It doesn't sell you at all. Like metal doesn't feel like metal. Leather feels like cardboard. Stuff like that. The only thing this has going for it that kind of elevates it a bit higher than Hercules is the fact that the visual effects are slightly better, but I think I know why. It's because when you have these gargoyles flying around, they have them against the backdrop of nighttime, so you can't really see very clearly where the green screen begins and ends. The closer you look at the gargoyles, and they have a bunch of close-ups, the worse they look. And like at a certain point, you see them kind of flapping their wings, and it's like, nope, that is completely fake. The sound is bad too. I mean, the first time I think I heard a gargoyle scream or growl or whatever, it sounded like a lion. It really sounded like a lion, and that sounds like such a small nitpick, but it does take you out of the movie when you start thinking. Instead of like being interested in the gargoyles, what starts going through your mind, at least what went through my mind, was like, oh, cool, it's a lion. Like, when's the last time I saw a lion? Like, I think the last time I saw a lion was peeing like next to to the person next to me, and oh, hey, wait, movie. Really, it's just so poorly done on every production level. Like, I just in fantasy movies like this, it really has to have a good world to build, but this movie is just it's writing wise also. I had no idea what was happening in this movie. Like it actually for me started out pretty decent, which I guess is kind of a plus. Like it started out interesting, and then it just kind of like the words started meshing into each other. The story is simple. Like it's kind of like Underworld. It pretty much is Underworld with different species, but they try to add so much to it. They make the plot of the main villain so bombastic and huge, but really don't really care. Like this is the kind of movie that would benefit from a bit of self-awareness that it is like this big dumb monster movie thing, but it tries to add drama to it. It tries to add some weird romance to it, which is freaky because it's a 200-year-old corpse. You can't make it have a romantic relationship with this woman. I'm kind of hesitant to blame the actors for their performances. It's more of, I think, the director's fault. Because all the actors here, at least the main ones, are, they have good reputations. And Aaron Eckhart is fantastic in The Dark Knight as Harvey Dent. Bill Nighy, I will always remember him as Davy Jones in the Pirates of the Caribbean sequels. And, even if you didn't like those movies, his performance as Davy Jones, I think, is really good. Yvonne Strahovski, of course, is from Chalk. And I know she was in Dexter also, and in another TV show that I don't watch. Sorry. And Miranda Otto, come on, that's Eowyn. Lord of the Rings. Like no one in Lord of the Rings was bad, but here it's like, do they actually buy this stuff? For me, it's Stuart B's fault. This director. I don't really understand what he was trying to do with this. Like I don't even see how this could have seemed like a good idea to him. Really. Now this movie sounds like I'm bringing it down so much, and I really am. This is a terrible movie. I did not like watching it, and I just started realizing that I didn't sound this negative when I was talking about Legend of Hercules, but I think what the Legend of Hercules had going for it was that it was the first movie I ever saw this year. Thus, it had nothing I could compare it with. But really, when I look at those two movies, Hercules, Frankenstein is a bit better because it just does have more personality to it. It has more style, whereas Hercules just absolutely did not. However, again, this movie is just it's a big ball of nothing. It's so dull in every sense. I didn't fall asleep though. I remember every single thing that happened, and none of those things were interesting. Really, it's just this story and this plot and just everything that happened was so unremarkable, and it's just why do these movies get made? Like, why? Nothing about Frankenstein's monster can't look as chiseled as Aaron Eckhart does. He's made of corpses. Come on. So yeah, have you guys seen I Frankenstein? Hope not. But if you have, what do you think of it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? So yeah, whatever you guys think, please leave me a comment below and let us have a conversation.